A very good morning. Welcome back to another daily market outlook. EURUSD continues to push up higher in line with the overall market structure, which we have been discussing for quite some time. Now, this is all based on the overall US dollar sentiment, where there is a lot of US dollar uncertainty. Yesterday, Trump announced or publicly announced an overall private WhatsApp message between himself and Emmanuel Macron, the president or the prime minister of France. This overall is causing a lot of dump on the dollar and causing EURUSD now to push up higher in line with the overall market structure. So, how can we capitalize on EURUSD in itself? Now, what I'm looking at here at the moment is nothing much different from the past few weeks. As we can see, overall impulsive phase in towards the highs, the overall retracement phase in towards the lows. We take out the lowest point of liquidity, and after that, we see the market structure shift internally here in towards the highs. The market retraced into the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level, and now what we're seeing here is a daily change of character take place, meaning that we now have an area of demand from where we can look for longs. Even if we currently break the overall daily order flow as well, these longs overall still look good to push EURUSD up higher, and that would be the overall long position that we were waiting for quite some time, and which I've been waiting for since around the beginning of January. Obviously, at an earlier stage, I was talking about longs potentially after taking out this internal low here, together with this area of demand. As we can see, we got a little bit more manipulation, but now the market has finally started to catch up a little bit again. So who knows, I might have better held onto that overall position that I took from the lows. But regardless, now we have a little bit more confirmation that we can start using to take those actual, better longs here on EURUSD. So let's see if we break this high. That would be even more confluence then to take some longs, as we then have the overall impulsive phasing towards the highs. We have two liquidity lows then taken out. This low over here, this low over here. And we have the overall swing structure in line with the overall internal structure. And we have the 0.5 Fib retracement. So there's a lot of confluence then to take along and further long this in towards the highs. So keep an eye out for those potential longs there on EURUSD, as it is starting to look better and better. Now, going into the dollar index is still slightly uncertain, though not much has changed overall. As we can see, the overall internal market structure has shifted again in towards the downside. Obviously, after a phase where we saw an internal pullback in towards the upside and then another break in towards the downside, after sweeping this liquidity high over here. So we grab the liquidity and then we start to see a strong push down, which caused the market structure shift on this low here. That now means that this is a swing high, this is a swing low. The market has retraced into the 0.5 Fib. We have taken out a significant point of liquidity here, and we've now seen a daily change of character, meaning that from this supply zone we can head down lower. So dollar index for now is looking better for a sell than for a buy, in my opinion. In addition to that, we can draw in the Fib tool as our range trading tool. And if we then look at the overall range that we have here, then you can see that we pretty much retrace back up towards the 75% Fib, and we can expect still some further downside to occur. Hence why I still see there to be potential for a EURUSD long. Now, moving on into GPUSD, the overall short position is not running too well. I'm looking to maybe close this position if we see somewhat of a retracement on the overall liquidity high that we have here. Let's see what the market does when it reacts to that high. If after taking out that high, the market retraces nicely back towards, let's say, this demand zone, then I'll look to close inside of there, as I personally just don't really like what I'm seeing here from GPUSD. No momentum or real momentum in towards the downside. EU still looks good to head up higher. Dollar uncertainty. I don't want to be too much exposed to the dollar, as the yen pairs are currently just the better overall alternative, which I've been updating, by the way, inside Discord, especially if we look at a euro yen, and I won't go too much in depth, but if we look at a euro yen, we can see some beautiful price action after taking out the final point of liquidity and this demand zone tap, which took out this liquidity low. So we swept liquidity, we saw liquidity resting right above the demand zone, and then here we had the change of character. Same goes for a Swiss JPY, where as well we saw the lowest liquidity point get taken. Strong area of demand due to the fact that it took out liquidity here to the left, and ever since it's now been pushing up high and just created a new higher high. So these are the kind of positions that have been performing, and for anybody who's interested, again, I've been updating these from start to finish inside the Discord server. So that's what I have for GPUs at the moment. Let's see. We still have 4-hour bearish swing structure. But if we do not react to this final liquidity high, and this high here should be very strong because it took out this liquidity over here, then this for me is a dumb position. Obviously, we will have to see what happens, but then I would prefer to remove my position for around the 0.5 hour as opposed to taking the full loss. Because I don't like what's happening here. We have a swing high, we have a swing low. We had a point of liquidity and then another point of liquidity here. If both liquidity points don't give us any reaction in towards the downside, then it is likely that we'll just head up higher. And then what I'll wait for is pretty much just the upper area of supplies get hit, which is this supply zone over here. And then the trade idea just simply didn't work out. So that's GPUSD. Going into ADUSD, ADUSD has finally taken off from the 4-hour demand zone, or from the range, let's call it that way. As we can see here, the market structure obviously has remained bullish, right? We saw the breaker structure up. The reason that I didn't really want to trade this is just because it was so consolidative, but now we're finally breaking out, meaning that if we do retrace back down to, for example, this internal point of liquidity here, we could look for a new long position in towards the upside. Going into NZD-USD, very, very similar. We've finally broken out and chosen the direction after somewhat of a consolidative market. Who knows, potentially we're not going to retrace towards this lowest point of liquidity, even though I would have preferred it. But we've now broken this internal supply zone, meaning that this is now our demand zone. So what I'll be looking for is for, as I've drawn out here and discussed for quite some time, I'll be looking for the upside continuation trade once we do see a retracement into that demand zone, and then look for further long positions. Then moving into USD CAD, USD Swiss, USD Yen. USD CAD, very happy that we didn't take any trades on this. Long, as I've been talking about in pretty much every market outlook. Again, I didn't like what we were seeing here. Every single time we broke a high, we retraced, broke a high, retraced. Now we're pushing in towards the downside. I see there to be more potential for downside on this thing. If we look here, very simply said, at the overall daily market structure, what I'm keeping an eye on is the fact that, let's say we have the break of market structure in towards the downside. This could be a point of liquidity. This is also the 0.5 fib. We have the perfect daily change of character taking place here. So I would prefer for maybe another sell in towards those equal lows, as long as currently the dollar remains weak with the market structure that we are seeing. In addition to that, a lot of trendline liquidity here, by the way. So I never really like buying on the trend lines. At some point in time, we should grab some more liquidity, maybe even underneath these triple lows that we have over here. USD CHF, looking at for the downside on that. Obviously, this Swiss franc is acting as a safe haven at the moment. What we discussed has pretty much been playing out. Again, squeezing in towards the highs with the 1, 2, 3. Took out the internal bump in the road here and is now selling off. Rangy price action over and across the board, but still bearish, right? Break structure down, swing high, swing low, and overall just a range, but still relatively nice supply zone that took out this little liquidity high here to the left. Then we took out the internal high here, and now we should just head down lower again, as long as these kind of like this situation with Trump does persist. Moving on into USD-JPY. We are looking at some slow price action here. The yen was relatively weak, as we saw from Euro yen and Swiss yen. Dollar yen, I wouldn't trade just because we're trading two weak currencies on this pair at the moment. Both the yen and both the dollar are very weak at the moment, so I'm not looking to engage with that pair. And then we have gold. Gold, I'm just looking for upside continuation plays. Any retracement is an opportunity for another long, guys. So let's see. We need to build some more liquidity. What we had was maybe this low here. I was looking for that low to get taken out and then continuation, kind of similar to what happened over here. It didn't happen, so now what I'm looking for is just, again, upside continuation plays. So this is now, for example, an internal liquidity low. If that low gets taken out, we can look for more longs. We have to be very aggressive on a pair like gold, just because it just keeps on moving and moving and moving. We'll monitor what happens to gold, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below or inside the Discord server. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. Speak soon.